There we go. Hello, hello, hello. Sorry about that. Had a bit of technical issues there, but I'm here. Hello. How are you guys today? My name is Shelly. Welcome to my live lesson today. It's Thursday. Usually every Thursday I do a live lesson. So if this is your first time here, welcome. If this is your second, third, or multiple times here, then welcome back. We've got a great lesson today. We're going to be looking at mixed conditionals. Mixed conditionals. All right. This is actually a lesson that was requested last week by someone, by Fadibors actually. So Fadibors, hopefully you join today. And if you can't, life gets in the way sometimes. We're always busy. And I know there's time difference to consider. But if you can't join, then of course this is here for you to watch on the replay. We're going to get straight into it. We're going to go over the grammar to begin with. After we go over the grammar, we'll go over some scenarios. Today's live lesson is not going to be that long. We'll probably keep it shorter than usual. Usually, I'll do a lesson for about an hour, maybe a little bit longer, sometimes like an hour and a half. Today, we're probably going to get into like the 30 to 40 minute range today. Right, it's been a long day, and I've still got many things I need to do. So a little bit on the shorter side today. But I've said that before, and then I end up having a really long lesson. So you never know. We'll see. So as always, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to put the lesson that we will do today on the screen, and it's called a mixed conditional. Okay, so hopefully my internet connection is not bad today. I believe last Thursday, it was a little bit slow, a little bit choppy. So hopefully it's okay. If it does if there are some issues, then please let me know and I'll figure it out. Okay, so let's look at the grammar to begin with. Mixed conditional. So first of all, a conditional sentence, and I actually will, last week we were doing the first conditional, and then we looked at the second conditional as well. So basically, the first conditional is that right there. It's if plus the present tense. Excuse me while I grab my phone. I don't want it to ring. Sorry, back to what I was saying. The first conditional number one is if, present tense, and then we're using will plus a base verb. Right? This is always used for something that's true, something that's real, an actual fact. So if it rains tomorrow, I will use an umbrella. Right? If it rains tomorrow, I will use an umbrella. So a conditional sentence is always introducing a condition where the second sentence is going to follow. Now, the second conditional is going to be here. It's going to be if plus the past tense, and then it's going to be would and the base verb. Now, basically, what a mixed condition is going to do is we are basically mixing some of the first conditionals and second conditionals, or the second and the third get mixed together. Let's try to make this screen a little bit bigger. And hopefully everybody can see. Let's check out the screen. Yeah, it looks a little bigger now. So if we just read along here, it says this conditional in English is a conditional sentence that combines two different types of conditions. We're usually using it for a hypothetical situation. We're talking about two different times. Okay, so conditional. That's what we're going to look at. We've got the grammar patterns right here. The grammar pattern here, and we're going to look at this first one. Let me get my pen out here. And we're going to look at this one right here. Make my arrow today. All right. Kind of a strange arrow, but it's still an arrow. Okay. So this is the first pattern that we are going to cover. And if we look at this pattern, it says if plus the past perfect and would and the base verb. So if past perfect, would, and the base verb. So it's important to know, what does this mean? So that's what this sentence says here. This form is used when something that changed in the past affects the present result. So something in the past is going to affect now. The second type we'll follow today is going to be right here. This is when something in the present is related to a past situation. So how do we make that? How do we combine two different conditionals? We're going to have if and past simple. Then we're going to have would, have, and the past participle. Okay, let's look at a couple of example sentences. So let's look first. This is the one we're going to cover right now. One sec. Oh, there we go. My computer was all glitchy again. So first example sentence we have here. It says, if I hadn't got the job in New York City, I wouldn't be with my current partner. If I hadn't got the job in New York City, I wouldn't be with my current partner. All right, so again, we're following this grammar, this pattern here. Okay, I want everybody to remember that pattern. I'll actually put it as a banner right now. Okay, so the past to the present, it's if plus past perfect, would, and the base verb. So our example sentence was, if I hadn't got the job in New York City, that's past perfect, I wouldn't be with my current partner. Okay, would and the base verb. Now the other example we have right here is, I'll put on the screen right now, is using present and past. If plus the past simple, would, have, and past participle. So let's look at an example sentence. If it wasn't an emergency, I wouldn't have called you on your holiday. If it wasn't an emergency, I wouldn't have called you on your holiday. Okay, so it was an emergency and I'm calling you now. All right, next example. I would be fluent now if I had learned English as a child. And the last one we have here is, if she were here right now, she would have solved the problem immediately. Okay, so we got a lot of different examples. So the best way to learn how to do this is by making your own sentences. It's by actually speaking. A lot of people always say they want to improve English, but then they don't speak. Right? It's really important you speak. And speaking of speaking, I just posted a new video on my channel about a couple of hours ago. I've been trying to post almost every day. The lesson that I posted yesterday and the lesson I posted today, they're really good speaking practice. Right? You'll have a lot of different business English phrases to remember and to speak. So please check that out as well. Let's look at the first one. You forgot about your alarm clock last night. Now you're late for your work. All right, what would your answer be for this? You're late for work. That means right now. That means right now. So let's look first. Am I going to use this pattern or am I going to use that pattern? Okay, so it's always important to choose which one we're going to choose here. So for me, I would say, this, well, let's just actually use the screen. This one right here. So this one right here. Okay, so my answer for this would be, if I had set my alarm, I wouldn't be late for work right now. Okay, so if I had set my alarm, okay, if I had set my alarm, you guys remember what I said at the end? Okay, so we have to follow the pattern. So we know we need a would. If I had set my alarm, I wouldn't be, what can we say? I wouldn't be not late right now. Okay, so if I had set my alarm, I wouldn't be late right now. But you are late and you forgot to set it. So here we got past perfect. We've got would in the present tense. Let's look at the next. You don't speak Japanese. You missed out on a great job offer. All right, you don't speak Japanese. You missed out on a great job offer in Tokyo last year. All right, this one here, I would probably go with this. If and simple, would have and past participle. Okay, so for me, great sentence for this would be, if I, one sec. If I spoke Japanese, what would be the ending of that sentence? If I spoke Japanese, or if I were fluent in Japanese, I would, so remember we have to follow the pattern, I would have accepted the offer. Okay, if I spoke Japanese, I would have accepted the offer. So mixed conditional, past, we've got would and the present perfect. Okay, let's look at number 3. You didn't attend college, and now you feel underqualified for your current job. Excuse me, just having a coffee, an iced coffee. You didn't attend college, and now you feel underqualified for your current job search. All right, so what pattern would we be using for this? My answer for this question is going to be, If I had attended college, I wouldn't feel underqualified for my job search right now. All right. So if I hadn't, past tense, if I had attended, that's an adjective. I wouldn't, and this time we're going to be looking at right here. Sorry. I wouldn't feel underqualified for my job search now. Okay, number. Hey, Fighter Boys, how are you? Let's look at number 4. Number 4 says, you are shy, so you didn't ask that person out last weekend. You were shy, so you didn't ask that person out last weekend. So in this one here, again, for the mixed conditional, what I would say is probably this one here. If in the past simple, would have in past participle. What do we have here? Poyuniku. What does underqualified and current mean? So let's go up to the last question here. The last question is saying you feel underqualified. So qualified, forget about under. Let's just look at the word qualified. Qualified means that you have the knowledge, skill, experience to do something. But if you're underqualified, that means you don't have the knowledge, skill, or experience to do that job. Okay. And then, of course, it says here current, right? That was the second question you had there. Current job search. That means right now. Right now. Right now. All right, good questions, Poyniker. All right, let's keep going. Let's go to number 4. Number 4 says, you're so shy, so you didn't ask that person out last weekend. Okay, we're using a mixed conditional here. The one on the screen right now, that's what I would use. If plus past simple, would have, and past participle. Right, what would you guys say here? So obviously we're going to start, we can start if in the beginning or middle. Let's just start with if. Great job, Poynika. I'm glad you got it. Okay, so for this one here, what I would do here is, because we're doing that mixed conditional, right? And I've got the one mixed conditional on the screen. The other type would be here. I'm going to use this one here. So just follow along with my sentence and follow along with the banner there. All right, so my sentence will start, if I weren't shy, I would have asked him, her out last weekend. If I weren't shy, I would have asked her out. And if I weren't shy, I would have asked him out last weekend. Sorry, what was your question? 2, 3. Did I make a mistake? So there's 2 and 3 on the screen right now. Oh, okay, yeah. You got second and third. Yeah, you're completely right. Right, we're going second and third conditional, so we're mixing them there. And then the other common one, great fight. The other common one here is if past perfect, and then would and base verb. So it's actually opposite. You know, you're switching it. So you're going third, would in the base verb there. So yeah, you are completely right there. All right, let's look at number 5. You didn't save any money last year. Now you can't go on vacation. All right, you didn't save any money last year, so now you cannot go on vacation. I would probably go for this one. Yeah, I probably would go the same, if and past perfect. If and past perfect. We're going to talk about the past, and then it leads into the present time. If I were you, I would have seized the opportunity to ask for a job. Perfect. This was, I believe, you are doing... Which answer is this one for? Oh, okay, number 4. Let me just see your answer here again. Okay, so for number 4, asking the person out means that you're asking them on a date. You ask a person out, it's asking them on a date. So it's going to be for a romantic setting. The grammar you use is great, Fatima. You didn't save any money last year. Now you can't go on vacation. There's so many answers you could put. For me, number 5, maybe I would say if I had saved money last year, I would be sitting on a beach right now. All right, so it's following this pattern here. If I had saved, that's a past perfect. I would, and then I've got the base verb be, and I'm going to use present continuous, so would be sitting on a beach right now. If I had saved money last year, I would be on vacation and I wouldn't be so stressed. If I had saved money last year, I would be planning my holidays. If I had saved up money for a bit, I could buy this professional laptop. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so you're using that third conditional to start. Okay, let's look at the next one here. You are allergic to cats, So you didn't adopt the kitten at the shelter yesterday. You're allergic to cats. So you didn't adopt the kitten at the shelter yesterday. I am actually allergic to cats. All right. So for me, what I would do for this one here, I would probably go here. I would use this pattern here. If I weren't allergic to cats, I would have adopted the kitten yesterday. Right? If I weren't allergic to cats, if I didn't have a cat allergy, okay, I would have adopted the kitten yesterday. Okay, let's put it here. If I weren't allergic to cats, I would have adopted the kitten yesterday. All right, number 7. You didn't take driving lessons when you were younger. Now you can't drive your new car. Wow, you got a new car. Not good. Okay, that's not a very smart decision. Fighting words. If I had not allergic to cats, if I were not, not had not, if I were not allergic to cats, I would have adopted one. I would have adopted one of them for my house. For my house. You don't adopt them in your house. You adopt them to bring to your house. That's for your house. To your humble abode. Nice. Nice. All right, number 7 says, you didn't take driving lessons when you were younger, but now you can't drive your new car. For me, let's see. I would probably use the past perfect at the beginning here. So I'm going to be using this grammar pattern, this mixed conditional pattern. You didn't take driving lessons when you were younger. Now you can't drive your new car. Okay, let's see. What could we answer for this? Maybe if I had taken driving lessons, I'd be able to drive my new car now. Okay. If I had taken driving lessons, I'd be able to drive my new car now. Okay, so we're talking about a past action that is affecting current action. Okay, number 8. You forgot your umbrella this morning and now you're wet from the rain. You forgot your umbrella this morning and now you're wet from the rain. All right, so I would probably use the same grammar pattern that you see in the banner right now. So we need past perfect. We need the past perfect. So if you look, we've already got our verb right here. All right, so all we have to do is make that past perfect. So maybe my answer for this is if I had, okay, if I had maybe remembered my umbrella morning. One second. Slow again here. Siri's trying to talk to me. Okay, so one more time. If I had remembered my umbrella this morning, okay. One second, let me just type this out. Okay, my network again is really slow, so we're gonna try to finish. I wouldn't be wet right now. Okay, so we've got, if I'd remembered my umbrella this morning, I wouldn't be wet right now. Okay, Fighterboard is, if you hadn't had a driver's license, you can't be able to drive my car. So you're here using past perfect. So if I hadn't have a driver's license, if I hadn't had a driver's license, that the end of that sentence is a little strange, Fighterboards. You can't be able to drive my new car. So remember, we want to have would in this situation. If you're having past perfect, next is going to be would. You wouldn't be able to drive my car. Okay. If I remember my umbrella this morning, so if it hadn't slipped my mind to bring a brolly, okay, I wouldn't be wet like a stray cat. Okay, almost perfect. If it hadn't slipped my mind to bring a brolly, I wouldn't be wet like a stray cat. Okay, good job so far. We're gonna do two. We're gonna do two more, and then we'll call it lesson. Today is gonna be a short lesson. I'll continue this lesson. There's still 10 more I want to do, but we'll do up to 10, and then we'll call it a lesson. And then I'll continue this a little bit later. I've got some things I need to get done tonight. But I did want to do a lesson. I promised, I promised that we would do a mixed conditional lesson. Let's look at number 9. You don't like public speaking, so you didn't present your idea at last week's meeting. Okay, you don't like public speaking, so you didn't present your idea at last week's meeting. So we're going to use the mixed conditional, and today I've tried to make it easy. I've tried to just give you 2 patterns to choose from. And for this one here, I've got if, past perfect, would in the base verb, or I've got this one, which is the present and past mixed. It's going to be if, past simple, would have past participles. So it's kind of like would in present perfect. So for me, I would use the pattern that's on the banner right now. It's what's on the screen right now. I would use past and then would have and past participle. All right. So for me, my answer for this would probably be this. Okay. If I liked public speaking, I would have presented my idea at last week's meeting. If I liked public speaking, I would have presented my idea at last week's meeting. If I find to bring about, that was the previous one. Sorry. Okay. So if I like public speaking, I would have presented my idea at last week's meeting. All right, let's look at another one. Let's look at another one here. You didn't study harder in high school, and now you regret your lack of qualifications. Okay, you didn't study hard. I actually made a mistake here. This should just be hard. You didn't study hard in high school, and now you regret your lack of qualifications. Okay. So for this one here, again, choose the pattern that you want. For me, I'll choose the other style. We're going to be using past perfect, would plus the base verb. All right, so maybe my sentence would be, if I had paid more attention in class. Okay, that's the beginning part of my sentence. If I would have paid, if I, one sec, I've got it all written wrong here. I forgot my actual conditional. If I had paid more attention in class, then we're going to use would and a base verb. I would be working at a much better company. All right. If I had paid more attention in class, I would be working at a much better company. So again, we're moving from past to present in this. All right, Fibers, you've got, if I were brave enough to speak in public, I would have presented my idea as well. Perfect. Perfect sentence. Excellent. Next one here, you wrote, if I had noticed, don't forget the D, my weaknesses and worked on them, I would be more successful in my business. Perfect. Great. I love it. I love it. I love it. Excellent. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect, Fibers. Let's do a couple more. Let's do a couple more. We're on a groove right now. We're moving well. The momentum is on our side. You don't have enough free time, so you didn't volunteer at the event last month. All right, so what would we answer here? Let me get rid of this banner here. So most likely for this, I'll be using that grammar. This would be the grammar pattern I would use. You don't have enough free time, so you didn't volunteer at the event last month. What would we say here? What would be our answer? We need present past simple here, okay? So you don't have enough free time, so you didn't volunteer at the event last month. If I had enough free time, if I had enough free time, I would have, okay, if I had time, I would have Okay. If I had enough free time, I would have volunteered. All right. Good job. Okay. Let's do one more, and then we'll call it a lesson. Number 12 is the last one. You spent all your money on shopping yesterday. Now you can't afford lunch. Now you can't afford lunch. Anybody watching this on the replay, number 12 is your homework. Anybody watching this live right now, 12, you're going to do it with me. I'm not going to put my answer on the board. I'm not going to put any of your answers either. So I want people who at home to challenge number 12. Leave it in the homework area. Leave it in the comment section. If I had a spot, I would have participated in volunteer works like building a shelter for dogs. Not build, but building a shelter. By the way, I have a soft spot. Just I think you do. I think you probably do, Fighter. I think you're super, super nice. So I could imagine you volunteering building a shelter for dogs. Perfect. Good answer. All right, so we're going past simple. Would have. So if I had a soft spot, I would have participated. I would have volunteered. I would have volunteered. Okay, so looks like number 12, we're going to leave that for homework. Mixed conditionals. We're basically using two different conditionals in one sentence. So today, if we look at the banner on the screen, we've got the past simple and then would have and past participle. Okay? But we've also got this past and present. So it's past perfect, would, and the base verb. So it is confusing. It is talking that past is connected to the present or present is connected to the past. We do use these a lot. Fighterboys, you did number 12. If you didn't spend your money like water, you would have afforded a simple lunch. No, four. You would have afforded a simple lunch. Okay, yeah, that works. And instead of would have, I would say you could have. Another one here. What I would so actually, I'm not going to give you my answer. I do have an answer for this as well. For me, it's all about time. If I had more time, I would have something. Yes, Fighting Bar is perfect. You could have afforded a simple lunch. That is perfect. Okay, so let's call that a lesson. There it is, a much shorter lesson than usual. I apologize for that. I usually go a little bit longer than this, but I do still want to continue this. We have more questions for mixed conditionals. I think it's really important to practice this. Like Fighter you just said, it's really hard, these kinds of mixed ones. Yeah, so I want to continue this. I want to practice a little more. So this is just part one. Ideally, I wanted to do it all today, but I do need to separate it. So just wait for the next one. The next lesson, I'll do the second part of that. Okay. All right, guys. As always, great job. Fighting Boys, amazing. Remember, this is only part one. We will do a part two. we'll get more into it. We'll analyze the sentences a little bit more. All right, guys, until the next lesson, I appreciate you all very much. Thank you for joining. Anyone who is watching on the replay, make sure you like this video, hit the subscribe button, and all that kind of fun stuff. All right, you guys have a great week, great weekend, and see you guys all soon in the next lesson. See ya.